They say a man who has already died once fears nothing. But in 2018, something happened in a boxing ring that still doesn't make sense. Tyson Fury rose from the canvas like a ghost in the 12th round against Deontay Wilder, a moment that remains the ultimate defiance of physics, human biology, and the very concept of a knockout. It wasn't just a sport. It was a resurrection that shocked the world. But his first brush with the exit door wasn't in a boxing ring. It was on August 12, 1988, in the sterile, high-tension silence of a cold Manchester hospital. Born 3 months premature and weighing a mere 1 pound, scarcely the size of a man's hand. Doctors told his father to prepare for a funeral, stating that the odds of survival were almost non-existent. They didn't know they were looking at the future king. John Fury looked at his tiny, struggling son and named him Tyson after Iron Mike. Not just as a label, but as a blood oath and a spiritual challenge that this boy would fight for every breath he took until he conquered the world. Fast forward to April 2026. That infant who wasn't supposed to live has matured into a global empire worth an estimated $250 million. He commands a fleet of high-performance machinery worth millions. His crown jewels are a pair of matching Rolls-Royce Phantom IIs, finished in deep obsidian with the iconic Starlight headliner. For family trips, he relies on the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, ultra-luxury SUV that combines brute presence with absolute refinement. Before we go deeper, smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. When he craves pure adrenaline, he switches to his Ferrari GTC 4 Lusso, a V12 shooting brake that roars from 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds. Or his Ferrari Portofino M, a sleek black convertible built for the coastal roads of his home. His garage also features a Porsche Taycan Turbo S, a silent, electro predator representing the cutting edge of his $2.4 million collection, alongside a camo-wrapped 2017 Range Rover Sport and a classic 1993 red Mini Cooper. When he travels across continents, he does so in a 100 million pound private jet he calls his Flying Hotel, a vessel boasting a private cinema and a master suite designed for total luxury at 40,000 feet. His 8 million pound Isle of Man estate, Boulogne Manor, isn't just a home, it's a coastal fortress. Sprawled across acres of lush, wind-swept countryside, the manor features 6 massive double en-suite bedrooms and a grand ballroom designed for hosting the boxing elite. It is a world of its own, complete with a private high-tech gym, a tennis court, and a helipad for discreet arrivals. It is a place of absolute quiet. But here is the paradox that defines him. The same man who owns this empire still keeps a 2006 Volkswagen Passat worth a mere 500 quid. He calls it his scrapper, a rattling, physical anchor that keeps the $250 million man connected to the soul of the Manchester boy who once had nothing. But this $250 million empire wasn't built in comfort. It was forged in chaos. As a proud Irish traveler, Tyson Fury carries a fighting tradition where reputation is everything and weakness is never shown. This heritage isn't just a backdrop. It is the very fabric of his resilience, a lineage of bare-knuckle warriors and nomadic survivors, related to the legendary king of the Gypsies, Bartley Gorman, that prepared him for the lonely wars inside the squared circle. 34 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. To understand why this moment is so critical, you have to understand the paradox of the Tyson Fury identity. At 6'9" and nearly 270 pounds, he shouldn't move the way he does, but that's exactly what makes him dangerous. He doesn't just beat opponents. He confuses them, breaks their rhythm, and drains their belief before the final blow even lands. He is a ghost in the ring, a heavyweight who fights with the twitchy, elusive soul of a middleweight, making the world's most dangerous men miss until they break. He doesn't just punch, you freeze. Every feint is a lie, every movement a trap. This elite skill set wasn't born in the pros. It was forged in a hungry, overlooked amateur career where he fought 35 times, winning 31, despite a gold medal at the 2008 English National Championships. The British Olympic team snubbed him for the Beijing Games in favor of David Price. Tyson Fury called that snub a curse at the time, but that rejection became his greatest blessing, fueling a me against the world mentality that remains to this day. While others waited years for their turn, he turned pro in 2008 and began a relentless march through the trenches. By 2015, he achieved the impossible, traveling to the Lion's Den of Dusseldorf to dethrone Wladimir Klitschko. He ended a decade-long reign of dominance by using sheer psychological warfare, claiming the WBA, IBF, and WBO titles in one of history's greatest masterclasses. In that moment, he didn't just win belts. He became the lineal heavyweight champion, the man who beat the man. But then came the darkness. Following the Klitschko victory, the pressure of the crown crushed him. At his lowest, he ballooned to nearly 400 pounds, disappearing into a spiral of addiction. He was a shell of a champion, once seen driving his Ferrari toward a bridge at 100 miles per hour, intent on ending it all, only to be saved by the thought of his children. It looked like the end of the story. Then came the war. Against Deontay Wilder, he survived a moment most fighters never come back from, rising from the canvas in the 12th round like a man who refused to stay down. In the rematch, he didn't just survive, he dominated, walking Wilder down and breaking the most feared puncher in boxing. And in the trilogy, it became pure chaos, knockdowns, blood, and survival. The kind of fights that don't just build champions, they build legends. He reclaimed the WBC throne and solidified his place as the greatest of his generation. But even the most complex puzzle eventually meets its match. And for Tyson Fury, that match came in 2024. He encountered a different kind of problem in Alexander Usyk, a master technician who matched his boxing IQ move for move. Those two grueling defeats in Saudi Arabia were more than just points on a scorecard. They were a systemic dismantling of the invincible Gypsy King myth. The aura had been cracked. It forced him into a 16-month exile, sending him back to the hurt locker to find the raw, primitive hunger he had lost. To fix the king, he had to leave the palace. For his April 11th, 2026 return against Arslanbek Makhmudov, he moved his camp to the sweltering heat of Pattaya, Thailand. For 16 weeks, he lived on a boat docked in the harbor, away from the distractions of home. There was no luxury, just 100-degree humidity, 5 a.m. runs along the coast blasting Celine Dion, and intensive Muay Thai-inspired recovery sessions. He has trimmed down and added muscle, working with Thai coaches to refine a sharper, more flexible version of himself. But none of that matters if he can't prove it under the lights tonight. Beyond the ring, the Tyson Fury wealth is now a self-sustaining machine. His Furosity brand isn't just an endorsement, it's a full-scale retail takeover. His energy drinks and protein lines are dominating UK supermarket shelves, outcompeting global giants through sheer brand recognition. His business acumen is as sharp as his jab. He has diversified into high-end real estate and digital media, ensuring that his family's wealth is generational. Yet, behind that wall of fame and fortune is a foundation of silent trauma. Paris Fury has been the anchor since 2008, holding their world together through his public battles with addiction and suicidal depression. Together, they have raised 7 children. Every son bears the name Prince because Tyson Fury fundamentally believes they stay princes under a king until they earn their own titles through their own struggles and discipline. He refuses to raise them as rich kids, often making them fly economy while he sits in first class, teaching them that status is earned, not inherited. Tyson Fury has risen from the canvas of death as an infant, from the depths of addiction, and from the devastating knockdowns of the world's hardest punchers. But can the 37-year-old king do it one last time? And the man who once refused to die now has to prove he can do the impossible one more time. Let us know in the comments. Is Fury still the top dog? Or is the era of the Gypsy King officially over? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.